100 winner. Now we go green. Jack Harvey pops out to have a little look at the champion. Alex Palou running 4 wide down the front stretch.
That was some heads-up driving from Palou on back. We got a spinner. Kyle Larson.
No! Larson hits.
It was supposed to be a historic day. Kyle Larson, one of the most versatile and talented drivers in motorsports, was chasing an elusive dream, completing the double racing, the Indianapolis 500 and NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600 on the same day. Fans from both IndyCar and NASCAR watched with anticipation, hoping to witness Larson etch his name alongside legends. But what unfolded was not the triumphant tale many envisioned. Instead, it became one of the most devastating double crashes in racing history. Larson's Indy 500 debut was already under a cloud of uncertainty. Heavy rain delayed the start of the race, compressing an already tight schedule and heightening the pressure. When the green flag finally dropped, Larson was eager, maybe too eager. By lap 91, his dream unraveled. A restart proved chaotic, with cars bunched together and visibility impaired. Caught in traffic and pushing to gain ground, Larson spun out, slamming into the wall. Just like that, his much-hyped IndyCar debut ended with a heartbreaking crash. The impact of that moment was felt far beyond the racetrack. For months, Larson had spoken about the opportunity with reverence. To him, it wasn't just about competition, it was about legacy. Drivers rarely get the chance, and even fewer succeed. Each lap at Indianapolis meant history was in the making, and each second lost was a reminder of how unforgiving the sport can be.
Outside, there goes Larson to the bottom, a little wiggle, and it just goes.
He just lost it in the short chute on the entrance to 2, and Kiffin Simpson almost got.
But Larson wasn't done yet. With little time to reflect, he quickly shifted gears literally and mentally hopping on a jet bound for Charlotte. The goal was still alive: finish the Coca-Cola 600 and salvage the day. Yet the emotional and physical toll of Indy's crash lingered, and Charlotte would offer no redemption. "I hate the way the day went," Larson said. "I wish I could hit the reset button." Larson started strong at the Coca-Cola 600, even showing flashes of his trademark aggression and skill. But on lap 38, he tagged the wall, just a minor mistake, yet it foreshadowed deeper issues. The car never quite recovered. Handling deteriorated, and Larson battled the machine more than the competitors. Then came lap 246. A multi-car wreck erupted in front of him, and Larson, with nowhere to go, became a victim. His car was destroyed, and with it, the dream of conquering both iconic races in a single day. The sequence was brutal. Within hours, Larson had gone from a hopeful history maker to a back-to-back DNF statistic. The physical exhaustion alone was staggering, but it was the emotional fallout visible in his posture, his interviews, even his silences that painted the real picture. This wasn't just another race. This was supposed to be the moment. "Very disappointed," said Larson.
Yeah, just very disappointed. Just made the mistake on pit road, and it obviously just kind of compounds.
This marked the second year in a row that Larson's double attempt was derailed, this time even more dramatically. In 2024, weather delays hampered his schedule. In 2025, it was outright destruction. And to make matters worse, he became the first driver since 1997 to fail to finish both races while attempting the double. What made this even more crushing was the level of preparation. Larson had committed to this mission over a year in advance. Rick Hendrick, his NASCAR team owner, supported the endeavor with a $320,000 contribution and full coordination between teams. They analyzed data, simulated every possible scenario, and fine-tuned logistics down to the minute. The hype was immense, and so was the disappointment. This wasn't a publicity stunt. It was a calculated, strategic effort to bridge two of motorsport's most iconic events. Larson trained in simulators, met with engineers, studied tapes. He wasn't just dabbling in IndyCar, he was all in. And that total commitment made the outcome sting even more. Larson later reflected on the crashes with a mix of regret and realism. "I got tight between Takuma and got loose all over the place, so I spun. I just hate that I got a little too eager on the restart and caused that crashed. Bummed out. I hate that I got other people involved. We'll move on and forget this one," Larson told Fox. The Charlotte crash, meanwhile, was mostly out of his hands, a cruel twist of fate that made the day sting even more. Fans were divided. Some praised Larson's courage and commitment to chase greatness. Others questioned the wisdom of doing too much at once. Motorsport legends weighed in, reminding everyone how rare and grueling the double truly is. Tony Stewart, the last driver to complete it successfully, had warned of the immense toll it takes, physically, mentally, and logistically. Larson now knows that reality firsthand. Even the logistics of the day were grueling. Jumping from an open-wheel car in Indianapolis to a stock car in Charlotte isn't just a mechanical transition, it's a mental leap. Different strategies, different teammates, different rules. And all on the same day. Few athletes in any sport face that kind of demand. There's also the question of whether he'll try again. While Larson hasn't ruled it out, he's been candid about the toll this experience took. Between the travel, weather chaos, and back-to-back crashes, the journey left scars. "I don't know if I want to go through that again," he said in a post-race interview, and who could blame him? "Bummer of a day all around. Too many mistakes on my end," Larson said to Amazon Prime pit reporters. "Not the day I wanted. Hopefully we can run it back someday." But even in failure, Larson's daring attempt brought new energy to motorsports. It reminded fans of the grit required to chase racing's most difficult feats. It revived interest in an old-school challenge many thought belonged to a bygone era. And it showed that in a world of predictable headlines, real drama still exists on the racetrack. His attempt also spotlighted the enormous gap between the two disciplines. IndyCar and NASCAR may both involve driving fast, but the techniques, setups, and pressures are worlds apart. Larson learned that the hard way. While he's a NASCAR champion and a dominant force in dirt racing, the finesse of IndyCar's open-wheel machines on tight ovals proved to be a brutal lesson. In hindsight, Larson's journey reflects the fine line between glory and disaster in motorsports. A single lapse in judgment, a poorly timed pit stop, or a patch of oil can ruin everything. That's part of what makes racing so captivating and cruel. Larson lived both extremes within the span of one long, brutal day. Yet, it's not all doom and gloom. Larson is still at the peak of his career, still one of the most talented drivers in the world. This setback won't define him. If anything, it adds a compelling chapter to his legacy. A reminder that the path to greatness often includes massive setbacks. Sponsors and fans alike remain loyal. They see in Larson a fighter, someone who doesn't shy away from a challenge even when the odds are steep. That spirit resonates, especially in a sport built on resilience. His merchandise sales haven't dipped. His reputation hasn't wavered. If anything, he's become even more relatable. What happens next is up to him. Maybe he takes a break from the Indy dream. Maybe he doubles down and tries again in 2026. One thing is certain, racing fans will be watching. After getting checked out at the medical center at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Larson said he hadn't determined if he will try to run the double again next year, saying it's too fresh. For now, Kyle Larson's 2025 attempt at the double will be remembered not for the records he broke, but for the sheer audacity of trying. And even though it ended in wreckage, the story captured what makes motorsports so electrifying. The thrill of the unknown, the courage to try, and the heartbreak that sometimes follows. It's easy to celebrate the winners. It's much harder and perhaps more important to honor the ones who dared greatly and fell short. Larson dared, and that in itself is unforgettable. If this story gripped you like it did us, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more high-stakes motorsports drama. What do you think? Should Kyle Larson take another shot at the double, or is the risk just too great? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more behind-the-scenes looks at racing's biggest moments, make sure to turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.